One is creativity. Now, if you look at the word itself and break it into two parts, and then expand each of those parts into two full words, you get the starting point, creative activity. So, creativity is very simply creative activity. Now, if you think about creative activity, there's really only one place it can come from, and that is a creator. Only a creator can bring forth creative activity. So, creativity is evidence of a creator. Now, here's where we run into our first problem, because as fallen human beings, we're born separate from the creator. So, how do we even recognize creativity? How do we know what creative activity is? We haven't even seen the creator, we haven't even lived with the creator. So, that creates a obstacle for us in correctly identifying creative activity. So, if we say creative activity is a thought, emotion, and action, well, animals have thoughts, emotions, and actions. Does that make them a creator too? Is that evidence of their creator nature? So we run into all these problems. As we look a little deeper, though, we realize that true creativity, true creative activity, expresses a creator. It isn't just simply evidence that a creator exists, it's a vivid articulation. It is art that is expressing the nature of the creator who brought it forth. If you look at that even further, you realize that it's actually an exaltation. Although the creation is being lifted up, so a creator might take a canvas and make a beautiful picture, which it was just a plain canvas before, and all of a sudden now it's exalted. However, since the creation is expressing the creator, the real individual being lifted up is not creation, it's the creator who brought it forth. It's pointing back at the creator. So all creativity is evidence, creating an expression in order to exalt, to lift up the nature of the creator into the material world. So creativity lifts up creation into a greater likeness of a creator. As human beings, we bring unique interpretations of ourself into the world to lift up creation. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make creation look more like us as the creator. So we need to see then, so how is creativity created? How do we bring it forth? Well, the first thing we do is we create a mental image. This mental image is in our likeness, and we challenge the mind to make a picture, a thought, based on who we are. A good thought, something that will bless the world, something that will make the world a better place. That then becomes an emotional image that you can feel is like you. And the heart wants to do this. The heart wants to create an emotional expression of your soul that's like the mental image, but is ultimately like you. And that results in a bodily image. Your body itself, both in the present moment, expresses you, but over time, the body crafts itself, conforms itself to your spiritual likeness, which of course is why we all end up dying, because the body is very good at figuring out who the soul is, and it wants to make itself just like the soul, and the ultimate expression is a corpse. So creativity brings the creator's spiritual likeness into material form. That is the purpose of creative activity. So then why are we doing this? Particularly in the fallen world, we're creating such destruction, bringing forth our spiritual darkness, decay, and death into the world. Why do this? And the first thing we realize is when we look at children, they're chewing on toys, they're crawling around, they're trying to figure out how things work. They want to know creation. They want to know how this world works because they want to bring their likeness into it. That's the first place we start, essentially, as human beings. We want to know this creation, know how it works. Then we start shifting. As we go through adolescence and become older, we want to know the creator. And remember, we're separate from the actual creator. We were removed from the Garden of Eden when we rebelled from him. So now the only creator we know is ourself. So we start trying to use creation to know ourself in order to be the creator, to be greater than the original creator. Unfortunately, you can't use creation to know the creator. This is the problem from the Garden of Eden. We eat the forbidden fruit. Why do we eat it? We wanted to know all the good and all the evil just like the creator does. But you can't reach into creation to gain full spiritual knowledge of the creator. It doesn't work that way. That's the wickedness. That's the sin. So there is a third option of why we do this, and that is to know who knows. So when you bring forth creative activity, it's going to express you, and then everybody can look and see and feel and understand you and know if you know anything. Now, of course, the ultimate expression is when you're a corpse on the ground, everybody can look at what you know. And what do you know? Emptiness, darkness, and death. And that is the ultimate end result of all human knowledge. We were spiritually dead when we were born, and no matter how much effort we put into becoming like the Creator, we still end up dead because we still don't know the Creator who is life. So all of our creative activity expresses that we don't know, but we also get this inclination there has to be somebody who does know. Somebody has to know what life is, what love is, what truth is, what justice is, what all these things are that we try to become. There has to be someone who knows. So creative activity, as a fallen human being, exposes that your soul has no spiritual knowledge. You don't know anything. You don't know love, truth, honor, anything, regardless of how hard you try. The end result is an exposure that you don't know. But that also leaves this lingering arousal that there has to be somebody who does know. So who creates this activity, this creative activity? Most importantly, and this is a key distinction, the only creator is a spiritual creator. And this was set by the original creator before any of this world existed. He was a spiritual being, and he brought forth a material creation. So all creative activity comes from a spiritual creator, and it animates, it excites, it impels material creation to rise, to express, and to exalt. But it's important to note that the spiritual creator doesn't actually do the creation. So from a human perspective, you don't create your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Your mind, heart, body do. But your mind, heart, body are creation. They're your inner creative team. You don't create the thoughts, emotions, and actions. They do. Now, once they produce those actions and they go forth from your body, then visible creation jumps in. Other people, money, and resources of the world, they all join together to create a visible expression of you as the spiritual creator. Now, you can see in the fallen world, this is a disaster because we're making inner creation and visible creation express our death, our darkness, our decay. And it's ruining everything. But originally, we were supposed to be the spiritual partner with the spiritual creator. We were his womb, his woman. And he was to fill us with life, to create with us. And then we were to go forth into inner creation and visible creation to express his glorious nature. And we would do that with our own free will, with our own interpretive expressions. So the Creator's activity originally within your soul was to go forth and bless creation. He was going to fill you, rule you, and subdue you, and then give you free will to express his nature in order to bless creation.